Welcome back to the Coaching Couch. I'm on the couch today. Shim is on the chair, as far away from the couch as possible. Today, we're going to talk about her business, going from working a 9 to 5. So cliche that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Working a 9 to 5 and picking up some PT on the side to having a 6-figure business of her own, completely online, at the age of 24. Which is pretty good because at 24, I'm pretty sure I was still going into Simon's student nights, which we'll probably talk about a little bit later. If you don't know, Simon used to run like all the student nights in Manchester.
No way.
Yeah. Why do you think he's grown that beard now so no one can recognise him? He's tried to alter his identity. I worked with Simon for like 2 years at Virgin Active and I never fucking knew it.
I thought you was from down south.
Manchester.
Oh,
So there
I
you
thought
go.
you was from far away.
From far away.
Far away, yeah.
He looks a bit like a genie, doesn't he? But yeah, so Shim, tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah.
Where did
Help
you
women.
start? Where did you start?
Where did I start? In my bedroom. Typical. No, I used to work 9-5 fully.
What? Doing what?
Sales, funnily enough.
Was it?
Yeah. So I've always come from like a background in sales. I was trying to go into marketing, so I did a degree in marketing. Was always trying to get into like the marketing, but as a graduate, that is so hard. They just throw you in the sales and
Yeah, should have done
marketing.
teaching, mate. Should have done teaching. It was miles
Yeah,
easier.
they sell you a marketing job, and really it's sales and marketing.
Yeah.
So I always ended up in sales. Quite like sales actually because I was quite okay at it, like chatting crap on the phone.
Do you find there was a difference between selling your program and selling?
Yeah.
What were you selling?
I've sold everything.
Go on. What's the like maddest shit you sold?
I've sold like marketing packages, slots in like newspapers and magazines, HelloFresh, mobile phones, broadband.
What's the biggest thing that you've sold? What's the most expensive thing you've sold?
I once sold a full like telephone broadband system for a company for 24 grand.
What was the commission?
Gosh, I think I made like an extra £500 in my wage.
That's not bad, that though. That's not bad.
Yeah,
So
not,
what
not
did the
too
sales
bad.
role entail then? So like, what were you actually doing day to day?
On the phones, outbounding, cold leads, all of that.
What, literally just there's a phone number.
Like I would get lists of phone numbers and just drill through them all. And no matter how many times that they said no, I'd be like, hi, it's Emily from, we're back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd just get lists of like data and we'd just have to go right through them all day, every day. And we would never run out of data. There's always more phone numbers that you can ring. Even when you think you've got to the bottom of the list,
Is that
you're
one
not
of
at the
them where
bottom
you
of the
finish
list.
that book and then like you look to your right and they've put down like
Yeah.
a bigger one next to it? There
Yeah,
you go.
there you go. Here's another one to go at. So yeah, it was just literally drilling the phones day in, day out. That was my
So
life.
just cold outbound hoping to make sales.
Yeah, that's where I started. And then I went into being an account manager, but I was a very like low level account manager.
Like
So
a minion.
yeah, like you have like proper account managers who manage like the bigger accounts.
Oh,
I
you were
managed
just
like
a
the
shit
sub
account man.
the sub accounts. So I had a base, and again, I just used to be relentless, drilling through all of them, trying to upgrade them, trying to sell them more, and that's where I come
Oh,
from.
so instead of going, so you got basically a promotion from cold
cold
leads
leads
to
to-
leads that are already bought, but you
Yeah.
were trying to squeeze more out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you think that's prepared you for your own business now?
It taught me resilience, 100%. Yeah, because I can just be relentless. Like no matter how many no's I get, I can just keep going and keep going and keep going. Taught you discipline as well, I think, and working to targets and KPIs and that kind of stuff. So I think it's definitely helped. In terms of me selling myself, probably not.
It's a very different prospect that though, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very different because you've got to have confidence in yourself, confidence in your product, confidence that you can help people, and know that kind of what you're selling is. I think it's easy to slip into the trap of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm being a bit of an imposter. I'm selling them like
you know what? Do you reckon that's the biggest difference between sales and non-sales? So like, I signed up for a new business program like the other day, and it's got loads of like one-on-one live trainings from Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you've seen the dude. All right, he's very good at sales. He runs a sale, like very successful sales team. He said that, so like they used to do gym launches, right?
Yeah.
And he was saying that when they did their like client meetups where they all celebrated the successes. So they used to go to each gym and like do an awards show where they'd like lost so much and, oh my God, I've done this. And he said he used to make the sales reps go because then afterwards they'd get like a 10 to 15% increase in sales just because the sales reps had watched all the people inside the gym
Yeah.
achieve things and like, you know, cry and say how much it had changed their lives. And they went back into the sales process afterwards. And because they were that fucking like, listen, just fucking sign up. Like,
Yeah.
get it done. Like, it's brilliant. It'll change your life. I've just watched 4 women cry about how much weight they've lost that they never thought they'd be able to just get it on the dotted line. So
Yeah.
the sales, without changing anything about the script, the conviction of the salesperson made a massive difference in the sales point.
Yeah, definitely, because you've got to have that confidence. If I go, oh, I could possibly help you lose a little bit of weight,
Yeah.
people aren't going to take that. Whereas if you're going, yes, I can help you get in shape of your life, be confident, be strutting about the gym, be everything you've ever wanted to be, you're going to go, fuck yeah, sign me up.
Do you feel like you like that all the time with your program?
I'm not very aggressive. I'm quite compassionate in terms of
No,
like,
but as
how
in
I
like,
coach.
do you know, like everybody goes through like peaks and troughs with the business, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
sometimes you think you're going to change the world. Other times, like, you know, you'll get a couple of text messages off like clients that are leaving and you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what am I doing? Like,
crumbling.
yeah, it's falling apart. I'm shit. Nobody wants to work with me. So like, do you find that your sales process is slightly different depending on like the week that you've had maybe?
Depends. I think I've got a lot better as I've obviously like when you first start coaching, it's like, wow, all these people want to sign up with me. Look at all these girls I can help. And then you have your initial like wave of drop-offs and you go into that like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. It's not working. I'm in a trough. And then you come out of it again. I think the more you go through that, the more you learn to level with it.
Yeah.
So now I just take it as it comes kind of thing. And I know not to panic. What I do works. So just keep doing that. I don't really change it and get more aggressive with the sales. I just kind of keep going with it all.
How do you feel like the process has changed? Obviously, you just brought on a coach. Hannah isn't.
Hannah, yeah.
How good am I at remembering names? I'm usually shit at that. So you've brought Hannah on now. Obviously, this is the bit of a tough question for you because you're kind of in the transition of it now. But how have you found the sales process different selling to Hannah or, you know, selling the program with Hannah coaching it compared to yourself?
I think it's very difficult to step away from it being my little baby and, you know, everything's ran how I want it. And, you know, this is me, you've been coached by me to now like, you know, we've built a program, which means that, you know, we can help so many more women. Because I think you get to a certain point and it's like, I can only handle so much myself. And if we're wanting to expand, then I'm going to have to train coaches to, you know, run girls through the same program.
Agreed.
So it's definitely difficult now selling the program as opposed to me.
Why? Why do you think it's more difficult?
I think it's, again, building that confidence in it again. Just like I had to build the confidence in me, I can help them. It's now the program can help them.
So what do you think you could potentially do within the business then to make sure you have that same conviction of the program that Hannah's running compared to yourself?
Bit of branding, maybe, on the actual program.
Like, what do you think you could, what things do you think you can implement over the next 2 or 3 weeks that will allow you in 2 or 3 weeks to get on those sales calls and be like, Hannah's fucking brilliant. She's better than me. Like,
I already do because I've known Hannah for so long.
Yeah.
Like, she's the best. She's worked with me she's part of the furniture. It's one of those things like she's part of the furniture. She knows how I work. She's been through the program multiple times herself. So in terms of me having confidence in her coaching, I think it's just one of those things that's going to come with time. And as we get more results out of the program, as Hannah starts taking more people, like confidence will grow, the program will grow, the business will grow, people coming in. So I think it's just one of those time things, really.
yeah, for sure. Have you thought about maybe getting some feedback off the clients that are currently working with Hannah just to kind of give yourself that they are liking it, they are enjoying it, they're not worried that it's not me?
At the minute, just checking in with all the clients that she's got.
Yeah.
So I just keep checking in, rolling group chats, you know, things are going. And to be fair, I was a bit offended because they love her. They love her more than me.
But that's obviously because like you've got everything to do in the business. So you're like the marketer, you're doing the sales, lead generation, you're sitting on meetings with me, like you're doing all the business learning, you're speaking to Simon, all of that stuff, right? All she's got to do is coach.
Yeah.
And do you remember like when you first took on like your first 15 clients, like how simple
Life was.
everything was?
Yeah.
Like it was just like, all I have to do is make sure these people eat the food that I've told them to eat and go to the gym.
Go to the gym. I envy it. I wish I could go back to that.
I used to text everyone. I had 30 clients at one point on spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And I just used to wake up and I used to have them all with like PT as the name in the end, right?
Yeah.
So I used to get up in the morning, go on WhatsApp, type PT in, so it would bring up everyone that was PT.
Yeah.
And then I'd just fucking text them all. And I'd do the same before I went to bed. Every day.
Yeah. And life was so simple back
And
then.
it was. And then we used to do that with workouts as well.
Yeah.
So like, because we were using True Coach, it's like a workout software, it used to fill in the data and then it used to show you what they did last week.
Yeah.
So we used to go on and like, again, it was only 30 people. So what, an hour a day?
Yeah.
Maybe. Going through. Great workout that, mate. Make sure you increase your bench press. Your bench press has been the same for the last 2 weeks. Might want to push that a little bit. Right. Probably need to up the sets on this. I'm just going to change the program now. But for 30 clients, like that wasn't that difficult. It's only when things maybe got to 40 and 50. And then obviously I got a bit more into the marketing and I started being more sophisticated in the rest of the business and I was doing more learning. Then it got difficult to keep on top of all of that. But if you think about an online coach's job,
it's to coach.
It's just to coach.
But at the time, if I look back to when I had 30 clients and it was just me, just coaching 30 clients, at that point I was mega stressed out as well, like in the same kind of way. But now that I'm here, you look back and think, wow, how easy is that? How easy is that to make sure they get to where they need to be and they're doing everything that they should be doing? So yeah, I'm quite envious, to be fair.
I think you get better at handling stress, like
the
longer your business. Like you said, like we're not going to sit here and be like everybody comes in every month and goes up and up and up and up and up. It's like weight loss, right? Like obviously the weight loss goes down, but like there's ups and downs and you draw a trend line through it and it's down. Same with business. Like you would hope you draw a trend line through it and it's going up, but it's still going to be. And like you said, like your head used to fall off every time you'd end up in a trough and you think your business is going to go, but you do get a bit numb to it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's still a blow, isn't it, when a client leaves, especially if you've worked with them for like a long period of time. Definitely. You're like, oh, but I think now the way that we work, I take pleasure when somebody leaves because they leave in a position where you don't have to pay another coach again. Like we're going to be the last program you do. You're going to come through here. You're going to do the program, but whilst you're doing the program and getting to your goal, you're going to learn absolutely everything you need so that when you finish, you don't need to go and pay another coach again. So it's now when somebody comes to the end of their term, it's now kind of like bittersweet. It's like you're good. Go and fly the nest. Like go and be that bad bitch you've always wanted to be, basically. So I think it's shifting how I work as well, so that it's not like, oh my God, all these people are leaving. It's like, no, they've come in, they've done what they need to do, and now they're ready to go and conquer it on their own.
It's one of those things that with a fitness program, you can only ascend them so far. Like with business, it's a little bit different. Like there's always new things to learn. There's, the scale is immeasurable. You can grow your business it's scary, right?
Yeah, terrifying.
With fitness, there's really only you can only lose so much fat. And realistically, you can build muscle, but there is only so much you can do in X amount of time. Yeah,
and I think, we typically see women come through our doors who want to build like a nice shape. Like we don't get the girls who are like, I want to be stick thin.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly down to me because I'm not like that myself.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I like the type of women we attract. So a woman will typically come in and they'll be like, yes, I want to drop some fat. We'll complete fat loss. And they'll be like, right, now I want to build a shelf.
Explain to people what the shelf is.
The shelf is the glutes, the booty. That's what we're looking to build.
Why the shelf though?
Because it literally looks like a shelf.
So
when we're done with it.
Is that what you're trying? You're trying to achieve something
that's like a shelf.
You can almost perch an object on.
Yeah, cup of tea.
Wasn't what I had in mind, but
I don't want to know what you had in mind.
Definitely. Well, it were a cup of tea. It's health hazard. It's fucking hot water in there. What are you doing? Honestly, thank God you don't have to do a first aid qualification. Fucking hell. So they build the shelf.
Yeah, so they build the shelf. And once we've kind of gone through that, like...
Trapper man? No?
No. once we've typically gone through that like building phase, like they've learned everything they need to know. They've already completed a fat loss phase, so they know how to strip back the fat. And I always say to girls, like, you know, when you come to the end of your program, you'll be at your goal. And unless you want to set a new goal, I'm not continuing this because you don't need to keep paying me. And I think that's one of the main goals of the program, just because I was in a position where I paid so many fitness coaches over time, and I still didn't have a clue what I was doing. And all of us women are clueless, aren't we, when we first start in the gym? None of us have a clue where to start or where to go.
I mean, have you ever seen blokes in the gym as well?
Yeah, but I feel like it's more masculine, isn't it?
Oh,
when you
I don't
walk
know.
into
There's
the
a lot
gym?
of blokes who don't know what they were doing. There was a guy in my gym the other morning that was doing the robot curls, you know, where they're moving at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot worse than women. Men think, the worst thing about the blokes is they think they're doing it right.
Yeah.
At least the women are like,
I'm not doing this right. I need help. Yeah.
Clear. The men are like, bro, you need to do it this way. And
Yeah.
you're like, you look like you're about to pull your shoulder out of its socket. And they're like, yeah, but if you do your pec deck on the side, like that, gets such a good squeeze.
Yeah.
Men are worse because we think we know what we're doing and
Yeah.
we'll tell people what we're doing and why it's so good. So, you know, the worst thing you can be is wrong and fucking loud, right?
Yeah, true. I think girls, though, we look at men like, oh, all these men know exactly what they're doing. And as you become more educated, like you say, I now look at lads in the gym and think, what are you doing?
Yeah, I
What
think
is
actually
that?
like there's a middle ground where if you look at casual gym goers,
Yeah.
casual female gym goers, I feel are better equipped to be in the gym than men.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
they very quickly come into the gym and they're like, don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm going to get some help. Obviously, that's why fitness sales on a whole, the bigger end of the market is
Yeah.
females. Because females are more likely to kind of, you know, recognize their own flaws and be like, well, not
Oh,
flaws,
God, yeah.
but like recognize their own shortcomings within the gym and go like, all right, I need help. Whereas men will be like, bro, I've been doing this for 34 years. And I'm like, you still look like a sack of custard. Like, I don't know what you've been doing for the last 34 years, but you look like shit. So it wasn't doing much.
I think sometimes, though, females just need that confidence boost and they just need that reassurance.
Oh yeah, they need someone to go, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because, you know, I see a lot of girls come to our doors and, you know, what they're doing is okay. Like, it's not wrong. Obviously, it's not structured and it's not going to get them to where they need to be, but
Basic
it's not
workouts.
wrong. Yeah, just basic stuff. And they're like, oh, I'm doing it all wrong. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, you're not. And then sometimes they just need, obviously, a professional to say, yeah, like, what you're doing is okay. This is right. And having that confidence in it. And then they think, oh, yeah, I do know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's the overconfident ones that kill
Yeah.
you. Like men and women. The
Yeah.
overconfident ones that are like on the Stairmaster, like swinging the legs up behind
Yeah.
them, like stern look on the face. Like you're like, are you in Cirque du Soleil or? No, I'm training my glutes. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, on the Stairmaster. Right.
It's not going to build you a shelf.
No, apparently not from the Shelf Master herself. Sounds like a Black and Decker tool, that, doesn't it? Shelf Master 4000. We'll have to put your face on her. There's like a Bob the Builder type. The Shelf Master. That's great branding, that.
Great branding.
It's great branding.
It's very masculine.
Yeah, but it's got your face on it, so it'll be all right. Wait, women can be builders too.
True.
Caught you there. Caught you there. Just walk them into the trap. Walk them into the trap. But no, yeah, it's honestly, it's been really cool to see. I think one of the best things about your business for me is like you're very you,
Yeah.
and I feel like, and maybe it's the males in the industry that have done this to women, but I feel like women are almost expected to act a certain way to fit in with fitness, and if you don't act that way, it's almost like, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Whereas you're a bit like, I couldn't give a fuck type
Yeah.
of.
I think it's females have this stigma, like you need to go to gym and do like booty band workouts and cardio bunnies and things like that. And I think it's giving them the confidence that no, like you can go in the men's section. You know, it's not actually the men's section. It's actually,
Yeah, funny enough, no, it's
funny enough,
unisex.
it's not even the men's section. It's actually like everybody's section. So I think there is like a bit of a stigma, like they have to do, you know, like loads of cardio, they have to look a certain way, and it's never the case.
What do you think's giving you that confidence on social media to be like? Because a lot of females probably have the same thought process as you, but then when it actually comes to posting stuff on social media, they'll probably hover the thumb over it and be like, "Nah, just tell people to love themselves."
I think I was never always like confident in myself. I was never confident in what I was doing, confident on socials, confident in the gym. Like that was never me. I've never been like that female. I think just over time, as you see progress, as you get more into it, as you see more success, you become more confident. And I think I see women like obviously start with us and be quite in the shell and quite, uptight and quite nervous and not really confident in themselves. And then by the end of the program, they're actually like recording themselves in the gym, sports bras, like
taking
crop
selfies,
tops,
yeah,
selfies. And they're sending them over to me. And I'm thinking like, who is this girl? Like, this is not this girl that I spoke to, 4 months ago, 3 months ago. So I think it just comes with over time. And as you see results, you're like, you know exactly what you're doing. And just having that confidence in yourself.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think were the big keys? Obviously, then you've kind of trained yourself to be confident almost.
Self-belief, like thinking that I think one of the main things is I need to know what I'm doing is right.
Okay.
So I also need that reassurance, whether it's from you in business, from my online coach, knowing what I'm doing. That's a massive part in it. So just having a professional say, no, yeah, that's right, keep going. Like, I'm fully qualified. This is exactly what you need to do and what you're doing is right. I think the confidence definitely comes from that.
Yeah. So you think that going and getting coaching was a big step in you being able
yeah.
to build that confidence yourself?
Yeah, definitely. And I've worked with so many different coaches that you see everybody's different approaches, how they approach things, how they train, how they diet. And I think just being exposed to it all as well.
So would you actually recommend, you think, for people to maybe have 2 or 3 coaches in their life throughout their whole journey?
I think everybody has a different way of doing things. Now, there's obviously some coaches out there who are putting people on mad diets. Like, I take some calls from women and they're like, one the other day was like, oh, he put me on a carb protocol where, I couldn't have carbs for 4 weeks.
I was hoping it was the other way around. I thought that would have been really interesting.
No, he put me on a carb protocol. I couldn't have carbs for 4 weeks. And I was like, and how did you feel on that? And she was like, I had no energy. I felt crap. Like, couldn't really train hard. And I was like, well, exactly. So I think you've got to shop about coaches to find the right coach for you. And like, I'll happily hold my hands up and say, probably my style of training and whatnot isn't going to be suited to everyone, but there's going to be a lot of people that it is suited to. And I think you've got to experience how people do things, like how you would coach back in the day is probably a lot different to how I coach. So you've got to shop about and find the right coach for you.
Yeah, I think you've got to find something you believe in as well. Like,
yeah,
a lot of the, like, we've had someone come to us and be like, oh, I want to sign up, but like, I've done this before and I just don't really trust coaching. I'm like, do you trust in what we're telling you? Do you trust in the content that we put out? Do you trust in that? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, mate, I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't trust what we're saying, don't do it, because you're always going to do everything with with a foot still on the ledge. And if you do anything like that, it's not going to work as well as it would do. Yeah. And then when it doesn't work as well as it would do, that's where you're going to be like, well, it's not working as well as I thought it was going to do. And you don't realize that actually it's yourself that's causing it because you did something that you weren't fully invested in.
Yeah.
And I think you can work with a shit coach, but as long as you're like, most 90%, there's a 10% that will fuck you up, right? But 90% of coaches, if you go in and you fully believe them and you run at the walls that they ask you to run at, you'll probably do all right.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to follow what they say. But I think I always say to girls before I take them on, like, you've got to be all in. You've got to follow what we say. Please don't pay me and just expect to drop 4 stone overnight. It's not the case. Like, you've got to put in the work. But also you've got to believe and, believe that what we're doing is right and what we're doing is working. I think with the online coaching industry now, it's very, very saturated to the point where like everyone I speak to now has pretty much done a program in the past, done a blitz challenge, worked with a coach before, not really got to where they want to be. So it's one of those things that everybody's kind of already had a coach. But like you say, you've got to say to people, do you actually believe in what we're saying and the message that we put out? And if you do, then this is why we differ from any other coach that you've worked with in the past.
Yeah, then that last bit's I think is really key. You've got to have that reason of like, this is what we do differently. Because I think some people, they have to be told that it's not their fault. Like they want to hear, no, it wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
They told you to do the wrong thing. And then they're like, oh, so it wasn't me, right?
It was them, yeah.
But that's marketing for you. that's marketing for you. But no, thank you very much for that, Shim. That was very insightful. Where can people find you if they want to know more?
Over on Instagram, Gym with Shim, or TikTok. We're doing a little bit of TikTok. We're trying to get into it now. But mainly over on the Instagram.
If you want to see a load of chopped up videos and shelves.
Shelf gang.
That'll probably take off really quickly. Shim's TikTok is going to be massively bigger than mine in about 3 weeks. We should pre-populate my TikTok with a load of bum pictures, get a load of followers, and then change it. You know, some companies actually do that. Some companies will like, not bump it. Well, to be fair, they probably do. But they like, say like you wanted to start a golf clothing company, like polo shirts and that. You would preload like a load of golf trick shots that people would watch and follow the page to do, knowing that they're going to follow it because they like golf, clearly because they're watching golf trick shots. And then when you've got like 10,000 followers, you just take off all the golf trick shot videos and start posting your content.
Well, Owen had a TikTok account.
Yeah.
And he posted a picture of my dog, like a video of my dog with a chip, right? And it went viral, blew up. Obviously now he's started coaching. He's deleted all the videos and he's got all these followers and now he's just posting
gym
content.
Is he getting any business from it?
He's getting loads of people, you know, when they comment like first on your video, like
nah,
first.
He's got TikTok famous from a dog picture with a chip.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you hack social media. Thank you very much.